Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Thfc Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past and present. And joining me today on Newsbeat is our usual co-host, the Godfather himself. He's not feeling too bright the last few days, but I hope he's on the mend again. It's Philip. How are you, Philip? And I hope you're feeling a bit better.
Yeah, I'm afraid the dreaded COVID got me on Saturday there. Yeah, confinement here at the moment, so that's the only I've got, But yeah, Saturday's not result cheered me up a good bit.
Yeah, it snuck up and you tapped you on the shoulder and said, right, you're picking you. So I just kick it, it's a fucking thing. People seem to forget, Philip, it's still here. People, because you don't hear on the news and you don't get, like, we were getting the daily numbers every day on the news. It's still about in the community.
It's very much still here. It's still about. Yeah, it's the second time I've had it now, even though I've got all my boosters and everything, so it's still there. But anyway,
yeah,
at least hopefully this will be the end of it.
Hopefully now. But anyway, listen, thanks for everyone for joining us. Ellie's still stuck at Ben's coffee shop drinking his coffee, so she can't get away from there. So that's where Ellie is, but she'll be back tomorrow. Right, let's see. Right, yeah, we are doing a charity stream on Saturday. We are raised €85 so far. So I want to thank Philip, Ellie, Ollie, and Rob for donating to the charity. I really appreciate it. I donate myself now on Wednesday. I'll be donating some money towards it as well. But please, if you can donate anything, it would be extremely grateful. We're doing a 12-hour stream on Saturday from 12 midday to 12 midnight with other games and quizzes. We're doing everything on it to keep everyone entertained for the 12 hours. So that is the GoFundMe link. So please, everyone, hit that link if you can. It would be grateful. And also, if you are here, pick up your Patreon as well. You become patron of the channel as well. And what you get for that, you get on to come to fan shows, you get to come on to debates as well. And you get just to come on with me, Philip and Ellie, doing shows for debates and things like that. But whatever you, the patrons, we will match as a channel to match it to the charity as well. So look, whatever you do, we will match it. So it's all going to a cause as well. We've got Wayne Bonner in. Big up Wayne. Is what quality of players will be, and will the centre backs we need more than in our position? It was a poll I put into the chat. How many players will we sign in January? 0, 1, 2, or 3. Philip, how many more do you think we'll sign in January?
I'd love to say 3, but I think it'll be 2. I think we'll probably get a centre back, which is probably the most pressing position that we need, and also a creative midfielder. I think we're not going to do it all in January. Now, this World Cup might change the dynamic of that a bit, because there's going to be players coming through the World Cup that their star will be rising, and people like Paratici will be out there watching to see what they suit us. So January might be a little bit different come this transfer window. But I think we'll get 2 players in January and maybe another one in July. But what we need to do in July is offload some of the, how will I put it, less productive members of our squad.
Yeah, we definitely need players out. And look, we'll go through the team on Saturday, and there's a few scathing, I think, reports from both of us on that. Big up David Clark. David Clark's my nemesis. Everything I say, he disagrees with. So big up David. He says, hi from Chile.
Can I just say something to David? Yeah. David, very good players he wants out of Spurs on Friday night when we were talking, and they never got back to us. So maybe on the next chat, maybe not this one, David, can you put it up again, because I want to go through it with you. Brilliant list, I have to say.
It really was. I saw bits. I saw very quickly what it was, and it was very, very smart. So yeah, David, please get it back to us, and not this show, but definitely the next show we will go through. I'm doing a Tottenham review of the first half of the season show this week as well. So get it in for that, and we'll put it in for that one. We've got Carl Simpson, the Joker in the pack. Big up, Carl. Hope you're doing well, sir. And David this afternoon. David Clark, Phil, you're not drinking enough Guinness.
be a long time. I don't drink at all, unfortunately. So this is tea, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure, Phil. Yeah, Philip. Yeah, there's a bit of whiskey. There's a hot toddy in there somewhere along the line.
I wouldn't think.
Oh, when Ellie comes over, I think we might have a few drinks that night for definitely sure. That is.
I've got the bar holding extra supplies.
Yeah, that's it. Me and Ellie going to drink it dry. Big up Mick Harmonic. Hope you're doing all right. And we've got Rob Belcher. Big up, Rob. Thank you very much for the donation. Very, very kind of you, sir. I'm really, really appreciate it from all of us here. Tony Young, don't think I've seen you before in the chat, Tony, so welcome to the show. Are you two old enough to remember the double way of playing 2-3-5?
No, not quite. Nearly, but not quite. But actually, I do remember them playing 2-3-5 in the mid to late 60s. Like you had a goalkeeper, a right back, a left back. You had a right wing back, a centre half, and a left wing back. And then you had 5 forwards. So it's completely different now. It would never work today now. I think the only person to try that in the last 2 years was Ozzy.
Yeah.
Look how that turned out. It's a fascinating way of doing it. It really was.
Do you know what, Philip? I miss Ozzy's style. It was brilliant. I really do miss Ozzy's style. I really do.
You'd be closing your eyes every time the ball crossed out halfway.
Yeah, I remember where did we go and see? We were playing Sheffield Wednesday, I think, and he brought Ronnie Rosenthal on. I don't know if that was around Aussie time, but anyway, they were playing. Ronnie Rosenthal came on, and it was like he had 6 up front, only 2 defenders. He must have been playing the 2-3-5. Honest to God, and you were just looking at it thinking, we're in a relegation battle. We're near the bottom, and you're. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. After all, lads,
it was fun. But can you imagine some of the comments on social media?
Yeah.
Can you imagine comments on social media if you played like that now?
Jesus. There'd be criticism everywhere. After all, lads, after to the chat. Okay, don't know what that means, but big up Phil P. David Clark says Spurs will not just upgrade the centre back positions if they can't. Spurs will not just upgrade the centre back position if they can't get the player they want. Exactly, and I think it's a smart policy.
Yeah, they're not going to buy anybody. No, they're going to. I mean, we've tried to screen here, and I wouldn't rule them out of the during January. You know, I really wouldn't. This is Paris getting this bad.
Yeah. Philip. Hang on. Yeah, are Phillips the most good-looking Spurs fan? I say so. I say so. Are you there, Philip? I think Philip has frozen. So we'll carry on. He'll come back.
You're breaking up a bit, but I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm just going to open the door here. Hold on.
Okay. All right, we'll do that then. Right. Dave Clark says, yes, I will. Big up, Dave. Thank you very much. Carl Simpson, we are bringing 5 in. I spoke with Conte yesterday, and he said he was all over it. Well, Carl, if you say bringing in 5, we're bringing in 5. Phil P says, I hope we're signed 2 or 3, but it will be tough. Yeah, it will be. David says, I've not touched alcohol since January 2019. Wow. Because of a medical condition connected to vertigo. Wow, fair play to you. Yeah, fair play to you. Tony Young says, 2 wingers who could cross a ball. Yeah, exactly. And Rob says, David Clark, hi, my fellow long-time supporter. When did you start your Spurs journey? I started in 1962. Wow. When did you start, Philip? When did you start your Spurs journey?
I was about 7 at the time. Yeah, not long after the same time as Rob, not long after the double. And I was only a nipper. And I don't know why. I really don't know why I picked Spurs, possibly because they were after winning the double. But we live nowhere near London, so it was just a choice that stuck with me, you know.
Yeah.
And even though it's been difficult at times, I've always, you know, at the minute.
Yeah, that's so true. We've got Moondog
there.
We got Moon. Yeah, I'm here, Philip. I can hear you. Do you want to log back out and log back in again, Philip? Try that. See if that clears it. Right. Can you hear me?
Ollie, can I ring you back?
I'll take him off there for a minute. Big up, Moondog. Thank you very much for calling. And Tony Young, 80 side had Roberts and Miller. Yeah, the 80 side, I think, was the best idea. Graham Roberts, Paul Miller. Bring Philip back in there. Paul Miller, you had Tony Galvin, Garth Crooks, Steve Archibald. They had a great side. And David Clark, 1961, when I was 7 years old. So that's when he started following Spurs.
Me and David are pretty much the same vintage now.
Yeah, that's true. Carl Simpson, damn, Philip, internet connection has got COVID as well.
It must have. Oh, God. I wouldn't mind, but I bought a booster there at the weekend for it, to try and boost it up. And it usually works, but not so good today now.
Well, I have actually had to buy a booster get one of them booster internet things to put back into the PC to actually give it so it's getting direct into the Wi-Fi. So, the amount of work you've got to get internet just to do a stream is ridiculous.
I know.
Most signals should do. I know I look younger by the photo, but the photo is only 3 years old. 3 years old from my son's wedding. Wow. You don't look your age, David, I tell you that. Nor does Philip either. Philip looks.
I thought I was going to say, photograph, I'm only 2 years of age.
Right, Philip. Well, Saturday, of course, was the last game of the Premier League season.
Yeah.
Of course, it was against Leeds United. We won 4-3. Harry Kane, Davis getting a rare goal for him. Bentancur, for me, who was man of the match, scored 2. Then, of course, Leeds. Then Somerville in the 10th minute. Then Rodrigo in the 43rd and 76th. And then, of course, T. Adams, of course, was sent off for a second bookable offence, which, to be fair, I think was harsh. Before we get into the player ratings, Philip, as a game overall, how did you rate that game?
It was a good game, and if I was a Leeds fan, I'd be a bit disappointed we didn't get something out of it because, I mean, Leeds are a very easy team on the eye. They played well against us. They did their homework. They knew what our strengths and weaknesses were, and they played accordingly. And, and for us to go behind for about the 85th game in a row, it just was a bit hard to take. But then, okay, the Leeds fans were also complaining about the foul on the goalkeeper. I mean, there was contact with the keeper, but it was barely, minimal contact. Yeah. Not be with the days back in the 60s when you could actually charge the goalkeepers. Bobby Smith used to make a habit of burying the goalkeeper in the first couple of minutes of every match to put him to show who was the boss, But you can't even look at them now when you get a free kick given against you. No. So I think it was a good decision by the referee to allow that goal. If it had been disallowed, then there would be war if he hadn't disallowed Rodrigo's second goal for the foul on Bentancur. So it balanced each other out. Go on there.
No, I agree with you, as it did, Philip. I think everything just evened itself out by the end of the game, so I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. Now, we played better in the first half, better, not great. But Leeds did have a lot of possession, and their midfield looked an awful lot more zippier than ours. I know Bentancur was man of the match, but I felt really until Basuma came on, Bentancur came into his own then by moving further forward and showing just how good he is in that more advanced position, And I think Harry Kane in the second half, I don't think I've seen Harry touch the ball less. I think the one thing he did was slip Kulusevski around the corner for the winner. But that was about it. But, I mean, who cares? I do think, in all fairness, I never want to accuse a player of hiding in the game, but I think Harry had the World Cup in his mind in that second half. And who can blame him? Who can blame him?
But look at Højbjerg in the last sort of 10 minutes of the game.
Yes, flying into a tackle. I mean, he had no World Cup in his mind. In fact, I feared for him when that tackle went in. I thought he'd done his ankle.
But fair play to him for staying on there and, you know, to the end and not coming off. I mean, Conte said to him, come off. And you could hear him saying, I am not coming off. I'm staying on to the end. So fair play to him. I've got to bring this sorry. Philip,
go on. All right.
I've got to bring this comment up. This, for me, is this Tony Young. Mine was 1958. Remember Bill taking over his first game at 10-4 versus Everton.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. Some way to start, wasn't it? That's a good introduction. Imagine, you know, you're worried about your I mean, that was amazing, you know.
Yeah,
it really was.
I'm gobsmacked by that.
Yeah, that's it. There was one day in the Prem. There wasn't that particular game, but I think it was the first division in 1963. I think it was. Every game had about 7 or 8 goals in it. And we drew 4 each with West Brom. Fulham beat somebody 10-1 or something. So it was just one of those weekends. It never ever happened again. So there was big scoring games in those days because the defenses weren't just as solid or non-existent maybe as they are today, you know. But that was some game to take over on. It really was.
I'm absolutely bowled over by that comment. Imagine going to Bill Nick's first game. Listen, Tony, and I would say this to David Clark as well and Wilson, but I'd love to get the 3 of you on with Philip for a show and just talk about Tottenham from there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would love just to tap into your memories.
That'd be great.
It would. Honestly, it really would. I mean, that for me that's a wow. Once I saw that comment come up, I went, wow. Imagine seeing Bill Nick's first game in charge.
Yeah.
Jesus, that is big.
Yeah.
Well, Philip, this is the team. It was, let me take that off from Tony Young. It was Luis in goal, useless, Longley, and he's okay. Another useless, Perisic, Bentacle, Højbjerg, Kulu, Kane, and Richarlison. Look, go through your team there and give us your 10 out of that. But I know the 2 players you're going to scathe, and I don't blame you.
Hugo Lloris continues to worry me intensely. In my opinion, he could have stopped 2 of those goals and possibly 3 of them. Okay, the first one probably was the only one that he couldn't. Second goal, he got a hand on it and didn't get it away. And the third one, if he got a stronger hand on it, he would have tipped it around the post. Again, his distribution wasn't great. I just feel Hugo is suffering a crisis of confidence at the minute. Again, maybe he's got the World Cup. Like he's going into his 3rd or 4th World Cup. He's the captain of the holders of the World Cup. He's a lot on his plate. But I think fantastic servant that he's been. We need to replace him in the summer. So I'd only give him a 6. Big Dyer. What could you say about a man whose name lives up to his performances? You know, he was awful. Slow to react for the first goal. I think he ballooned a couple of clearances up in the air. And I thought for a minute he thought he was playing American football or rugby or something. The guy seems to have lost all confidence. Whether the fans are onto him, I don't know. Anyway, enough said. He's the luckiest man ever to get the England squad. But I can't see him playing. Because if you can imagine the USA, Iran, or Wales looking at an England back 4 that includes Dyer and Maguire, the two fridges in the back of the defence, they'll be absolutely over the moon. So enjoy the trip to Qatar, Eric. That's about all you'll be doing. Clement Longley, reasonable enough game, 7. Ben Davis did okay. I'm nothing wrong with Davis. He's a trier. And the fact that he had the foresight to shoot there and get the goal on the rebound, that was a good shot. Emerson, I think, poor fella, I felt sorry for him, that when he went off, he thought the fans were cheering him. If only he knew. They were cheering the fact that he was going off. And that's very rare you see that in a football match. But for his own sake, he needs to go and go quickly.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to give him a 3. Because you remember the move Spurs had in the first half? They did about 7 passes, brilliant interchanging. It comes to Emerson at the end, and he puts the ball into the back of the stand. I mean, that would have been one of the goals of the season. It turned out to be one of the misses of the season. Bentancur, again, I'm going to be critical here, and this maybe is undeserved. I felt in the first half, both Bentancur and Højbjerg didn't compete that well against the Leeds midfield, who are far more mobile. It's only in the latter stages that two boys really got to grips with it. So I'll give them both a 7. Perisic, the guy is, I think you should name him Periscope, because he can put those things on a sixpence. His crossing ability is superb. And I think once he starts scoring goals, the real things, give him an 8. I'm going to leave Kulusevski till the end.
Okay.
Goal.
Are you there, Philip?
I'll
give you a few more minutes. I can. I think if you log out and log back in again, Philip, just try that. See if that might clear it. Yeah, I think Philip has gone. I'll just take him out then. I'll give you my play while I'm waiting for Philip to log out, log in. I'll give Lloris the same a 5. Dyer, I'll give him a -1. He was fucking useless. Longley, I'll give a 5. Let's see now. Are you there, Philip?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, that's better. So where you're up to Richarlison?
Well, Richarlison, I think, until he plays in his proper position going down the middle, we're not going to see the best of him. But he's a great trier. No. He gives 100%. And I'd give him a 7. Harry Kane, I think I already heard the comments on Harry. Harry went missing for the second half, but you can't complain. I mean, the guy's been so immense for it. So, I'll give him a pass on that one. Now, Kulusevski. Kulusevski, for me, is our new David Ginola.
Yeah.
I think the guy has got a footballing brain that's way ahead of his 22 years of age. I mean, the poor Leeds right left back when he got home on Saturday night, he must have been absolutely, give me a drink quick, because Kulusevski skinned him every single time. The guy couldn't cope with him. I mean, and the turn for the last goal, the winning goal, that was just sublime. And he had the intelligence not to try and score, whereas a lot of players would have tried to beat the goalie at the near post. He saw the two boys coming in, and he flicked the ball out to Bentancur back of the net. Kulusevski, for me, is going to be an absolutely vital player for us in the run-in for the season, as long as he can stay fit. And the fact he's not going to the World Cup is brilliant. Again, I know Bentancur has been given man of the match. Kulusevski would be my man of the match, even though Bentancur scored twice.
And then for the substitutes, then Doherty, Sanchez, Basuma, and Moura.
Well, Doherty did okay when he came on, actually. Mind you, he didn't have a hard act to follow, so that wouldn't be, too hard. Sanchez, again, Bambi on ice, still, out of position, a couple of headers up in the air. No, not for me. Basuma, very good, excellent. And drew the foul that got the Leeds player sent off as well, but he was off one of those marauding runs up the middle. Lucas Moura wasn't on long enough to really get a kick even. So, I mean, let's face it, we didn't play as well as we can do. We've played better than we have done. And all I can say is we're still in 4th place. We haven't played 90 minutes properly entirely for the whole season. And look where we are. When we come back, I'm expecting a huge, huge improvement. And, I think as far as I'm concerned, the other lot down the road are peaking at they've hit their peak too soon. They're going to go backwards come the restart, hopefully. And the after fan, we're 5 points ahead, we're brilliant. I just remind them, they were 4 points ahead of us with 3 games to go, and look what happened.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I wasn't too confident if I was them,
Yeah, exactly. Big up, Philip. Brilliant score play ratings there. Look, I'll go quickly through mine, then I'll go a few in the chat. Look, I'm going to give Lloris a 6. You can't really say much more than what you said, Philip. He is lacking of confidence. Dyer, I'm going to give a -1. I think he was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And how he's going to the World Cup, either somebody has bribed Gareth Southgate to get him on there or something, but I don't know how he's going to the World Cup. Longley I give 6. Ben Davies, I would give a 7. And I would answer this on Ben Davies, Philip. It was said on Dave's, I was watching Dave's watch along the end of it on Saturday. And I don't know if I think it was Nick, Lazy 8, that said that Ben Davies is our James Milner. Milner.
Yeah, it's not a bad point, although he's 8 years younger than him. But yeah, not a bad point. Good player to have on. Won't play every match, but you bring him on, and he certainly won't make any mistakes like Dyer. Well, not he might make mistakes, but he won't make crucial mistakes.
No,
Dyer has cost us goals in the last 2 matches.
Do you think he's better playing Philip as a right centre back than he is as a sort of a right as a right back, as a left back, playing the left centre back?
I can't see him getting back in as left back because of the Perisic situation. In fact, we have Sessegnon and whatever, So yeah, I mean, he's not okay. Let's face it. If we buy 2 centre backs in 1 centre back even in the summer or January, I should say, chances are he's going to be a squad player for the rest of his time here.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see how he does for Wales, because he's an automatic choice for Wales.
Yeah,
and he plays well for Wales. Yeah, yeah. So I think Bale's the captain, isn't he? Bale's the Welsh captain.
He might be. Yeah, he might be. He might be.
But you've always got to have players in your squad that you can rely on. Okay, not 100%, but you can rely on him most of the time. Like, he's got a couple of goals this season now. So that's more than he got last season and the season before. And that's the thing about the team. We're bringing in goals from other areas of the pitch now, which we weren't before Conte came in. So that's positive. The Bentancur hadn't scored for about 5 years until this season. Now he's got 4. So
I know. It's brilliant. Emerson, I'll give a -1 as well. You just want to go on and hug him and tell him everything's going to be okay, but please just don't play football anymore. Go as a model. Yeah. Do anything else you want to do, but just do not play football. So, bad footballers, some bad footballers turn into world-class managers. So you don't know. Maybe
Taylor's done it with my occupation for him.
Yeah, I sort of might agree with you in that. Perisic, I would give a 7. Bentancur, I'd give a 9. I thought he was outstanding on Saturday. Højbjerg, I'd give an 8. I thought he did a lot of the unselfish work to give Bentancur that chance to get up and get into the position. For me, Richarlison, I agree with Philip. You probably won't see the best of him till he's playing in the middle, but I'll give him a 6. Harry, not his best game for us, but I think with the World Cup in mind, I think you're right, Philip. Again, he wasn't given 100%. So I'll give him a 7. And Kulusevski, I'll give an 8. I thought he was outstanding on Saturday. Absolutely tore down that ring. Somebody in the chats called him the Swedish Chris Waddle. I could understand that, and I agree with that. Look, on Højbjerg, just very quickly, Philip, that tackle at the end where he went in full-blooded, Conte wanted to take him off, and he's saying, no, I'm staying on at the end. That's the time Leeds were down to 10. He wanted to keep us with the 11 players on the pitch. That shows what a character Højbjerg is, and I think a lot of people need to start looking at him, that he is a better player than many people than many people give him credit for.
I'll tell you what he is, and this is going back to the David Clark and other lads that were around in the 60s will appreciate this one. He's the nearest thing we've had to Dave Mackay since Graham Roberts left.
Yeah.
That's the way he's in. He's fearless. He didn't care less. His thoughts were on Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday, not Denmark. And that to me speaks absolute volumes for what he did on that. Okay, it was a nothing tackle. It was on the touchline halfway inside the Leeds half. There was no danger involved, But he got stuck in, and it was the guy. Denmark's lucky to have him, And I hope to God he has a great World Cup.
Yeah, well, look, Denmark's one of my dark horses for the World Cup. I honestly think they can go very far. But that we will get our predictions for the World Cup during the week on our World Cup build-up. And just very quickly, Philip, on the World Cup, I've now episode 4 of that FIFA Uncovered documentary on Netflix, and I would recommend it to anyone.
I've finished number 3. I haven't got on to number 4 yet.
I haven't. I'm up the same pace as you are, Philip. And I'll tell you one thing: the amount of corruption within that bid was unreal.
But you know what I thought was hilarious? Hilarious. Sepp Blatter came on that program as if he was an innocent bystander in it all. That he was just an outsider looking in, instead of being responsible for most of the corruption that's been talked about. Unbelievable. You know, it was mind-boggling. It'd be like Donald Trump coming on and saying that he won the election in 2020. No one believes a bloody word about it. You know, it was it was just real to watch it. You know.
Yeah, and what got me the most was the people when they're in where was it, Angola, and they got the 3 members of the committee in the room. They're all presidents of South African football, and your man says to him, allegedly now, well, it is out there, so we'll give you $1 million each for your football association, but you give us our vote.
Yeah,
and they're saying, do you know what? That's not enough. Okay, 1.5 million. Okay, you got a deal. And you're thinking, right? Okay, is that how all the bids were done? I would love to know how the bids were done pre Joe Havelange, how they were done, to how the bids done pre Havelange.
And look at the man Warner in Jamaica. They got the 10 million for giving the World Cup to South Africa back in 2010. I don't know. It was just a license to print money, you know.
It is. I think we needed to get into that game completely, Philip. I think we're in the wrong game altogether.
That's a go.
I mean, I've said it before and I say it again. Anyone that doesn't think football isn't corrupt, just look at England's group in the World Cup. I mean, that must be the most corrupt when it comes to fixing groups in the World Cup. But anyway, look, that's for the debate show.
I don't want to get up the fans of any English and noses of any English fans, but you look back on the last number of draws that England have been in for all competitions. They've got really, really good draws. When you think about it, you know, maybe they're just lucky. Maybe they're just lucky, but you know. Then you have other teams that seem to get the wrong end of the stick every time, you know. But anyway.
I like this one from Dave Hotspur. FIFA is a cartel.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, they're a cartel, all right. But listen, we are doing a show on Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday, Wednesday. I can't remember when it is. Was FIFA right to give the World Cup to Qatar, the rights and wrongs of it? So.
Jeez.
You hear Qatar, in that. Yeah, go on,
Qatar. I saw what Qatar spent on their World Cup bid, and it was mind-boggling the amount of money. You know that they spent, and the money they spent since that. In fact, some of the stadiums they're putting up for the World Cup are going to be demolished after the games, and they've put up these like shipping containers with bedrooms in them that they're going to rent out to the fans at 200 quid a night, and there's no air conditioning in them. I'll tell you, we haven't heard the complaints are going to come back from this World Cup, but various things, drinking, accommodation, not being able to show any form of affection in public. They're going to be legendary when they come back. And all it's going to take, they're going to arrest somebody, and that's going to be the shit is going to really hit the fan there.
Yeah, I think
anyway,
so.
that's the Wednesday night.
That's for Tuesday and Wednesday, but is it right? And look, I've got my views on it. Philip has his views, and I think we're aligned on our views. But it's more into why it was given to Qatar, considering who they're up against: the United States, Japan, and I forget who else was in the bid.
Australia.
There's never been an Australian World Cup.
They all have fantastic facilities, existing facilities. There was no need to go out and build stadiums from scratch, you know. So there's not if you put down a piece of paper with all the bidders for the World Cup for this year on it, and gave them a tick for everything that was right about the bid, Qatar wouldn't get one tick, but they still won it.
No.
So
no, that is so true. That is so true. Just a quote from CONTE on Harry Kane's actually performance on. It says Antonio Conte lauds Harry Kane's impact in Tottenham's Premier League win against Leeds.
Yeah.
And he just says, I'll be honest, I think in this period, especially the last 13 games, Harry's played a really important role. If we finish this period in the top 4 and have qualified for the next round of the Champions League. And he goes on to say we've lost Decky, and he only played this game. Then we lost with Charlton, and without Lucas Moura from the start was difficult. Sonny also struggling a bit of a start to the season. And he ends up with this quote here. I think Harry honestly deserves a great praise. I wish him the best, and for the England, because Italy's not playing in the World Cup. For this reason, I can become a supporter of England. So
brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm not criticizing Harry for the way he played on Saturday. Totally understandable. The guy is out on his feet. He's played practically every minute, every match this season, and I think that he was, entitled to not be getting stuck in on tackles. He did enough. He got us a goal. He made another one nearly. So like my impression of if I'm watching an England team with Harry Kane, I want England to win.
Yeah,
with Harry Kane in it. I want Harry Kane to be successful.
I'm sorry, I can't.
But jealousy is a good call, not a good colour. I wasn't being criticizing England for the draws. I just think they've been lucky with the draws, But really, when I see Harry Kane stepping onto the English jersey, I want him to win. Not so much for England, but for Harry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I cannot, Philip. I cannot do that. I really cannot. I can't. Though my brain's saying to me, it's only Harry Kane. He plays for Tottenham. Think of it as Tottenham's playing. I can't. So
I see.
Harry Kane's one.
Well, what was the reaction?
You got one word. Only one word. He put on thing. It was called roller coaster.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I think that's what I want to see.
It sums up the first half of the season, really. But what I want to see is when we come back in December or January, I want to see the team with the controls matches.
Mm-hmm.
That gets after the team from the start and doesn't allow them to get a foothold like Leeds did on Saturday, like United did, like Liverpool did.
Yeah.
And when you're fighting from a rear guard position, it's never easy. But to come back 3 times on Saturday, that showed fantastic team spirit, fantastic endeavour, never say die attitude. And that is very, very positive for the future.
Yeah. It is. It is very. Carl Simpson says, Dermot, he meant to say, I have ordered you. I've ordered you the Kane England shirt. It's on its way. Great, Carl. Great for the fire. That'd give me a bit of burning time. Lovely. Cheers.
Square it to the Irish.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, gee, I do fancy coming home alive. I do fancy coming home alive for that, Philip. Can you hear me? And we'll wait for Philip to come back. We've got some transfer news for Spurs. Sport Witness put this Tottenham can move for signing in January rather than summer. Paratici key for the move. Now, that move is actually for the Italian media continue to link Tottenham with Hotspur with Winston McKennie, with now being reported that Spurs could look to move in the winter market rather than waiting until the summer. Philip, good move or not so good move, if you can hear me? I think Philip's frozen in time.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
I can hear you.
Just very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can hear you. I can't
hear
you.
Good.
Yeah.
Get him in.
For me, Philip, I think it'd be a good move, that.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah.
We also got here from football fancos, Antonio Conte interested in Antonio Silva. Now this man, I mean, I've got a few of his stats here. I had to take these down. Indeed, over his 10 La Liga appearances this season, the 13-rated talented has been in sensational form, helping his side to keep 5 clean sheets, in addition of making an average of 1.7 interceptions, 2.0 tackles, 3 clearances, and a winning 4.9% of his duels at a success rate of 64% per game. However, Spurs are not the only side believed to be keen on the teenager, with Liverpool, Manchester United, Real Madrid, PSG all reported to be keeping a close eye on the player, rounded about, I think one of them has offered around about 90 million euro. So what was your thoughts on that, Philip?
Actually, I'm not going to plead ignorance on this guy. Is he a centre-back or a full wing back?
He's a forward. He's a striker.
Oh, he's a striker. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a priority,
no, he
I'm
is
afraid.
A centre-back, sorry. He is a centre-back, sorry. He is a centre-back, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Philip? Well, David Clark says, I'm telling you, if Spurs signs McKenna, it won't get us closer to winning the trophy. There are better players out there for the money. Yeah, I agree with you. And he says, the previous two rejects haven't been half bad. No, they haven't. And really, why people call them rejects, I don't know. Philip, are you there? All right. I don't know if Philip's there. Philip has frozen. So what I'll do, I'll take him out. And if I see him come back in, I'll bring him back straight back in again. This is from TBR Boot Room Top. Oh, hello. He's back in again. Let's see. Can I see him? There, Philip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sorry about this, lads. I can't with the internet stronger because I'm in quarantine.
I think the internet has got COVID for you, bless you. Oh, Lord. We're on anything on the defender? Would you like him at Tottenham?
Who's this guy? I missed the name of this fella. Who is it?
It's the Portuguese. It's the Antonio that plays in Portugal. He's made 10 appearances. Yeah. I mean, he's got good stats.
I saw those stats. I still want to see Bastoni coming, but if that's not happening, we need to get a good player in there, ball-playing centre-back. It's imperative that we do that. We cannot start again with the same back three as we've been having.
No, definitely can't, Philip. With them, they're like the bloody what do you call them brothers? I forget the name of them, but they're like the bloody banana split. It's the three of them. Now, this one here, Philip, is from TBR Boot Room. Tottenham could make a bid to sign dangerous 40 million forward, who's even outperforming Haaland. Now, this man has been in devastating form. The Dutch forward has been in devastating form for PSV this season, registering 13 goals in 17 assists in all competitions. He's produced 30 goal involvements in just 23 appearances. Now, I know it's the case of we all want defenders and a cam. Was it also right to have cover for Richarlison and Kane as well up front? Or would you leave to the summer?
If we're going to start signing a player like that, right, you're going to start the rumours again. Harry Kane's off to Bayern Munich in the summer, because let's face it, we've got 4 forwards now, and this will make 5. There's going to be 2 of them sitting on the bench. That's not going to work. So no matter how good this guy is, someone's going to have to leave. What's his name, by the way? Didn't get the name. It's not with Janssen.
I couldn't find his name. Yeah, it's Vincent something. I think somebody's down there. Is it Vincent Jensen?
Oh God.
No,
I
please
think
don't.
the guy might be good. We need to. I don't think our priority is defense and midfield at the moment. I think our strike force is lethal at the moment. Providing them or go away or get their heads turned by somebody after the World Cup or something, you know. But at the moment, I think priority is at the back and a creative midfielder.
Yeah, we just got some Tottenham news to go through as well. Huh? You what, Philip?
Say Vincent Janssen made the Dutch squad, and George Kevin Nkudu is in one of the squads as well.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, the squad.
We're going on now. Yeah, we're going through now Troy Parrott because he's at loan at Preston North End, and he's actually injured, and this is how he got it, which is still puzzling to state. Republic of Ireland striker has been sidelined after tearing a tendon in his hamstring during celebration.
Typical Troy Parrott. He waits 20 matches to score a goal. Then he injures himself celebrating it. I mean, you couldn't make it up. You know? Like, he's lost a chance. He could be playing for Ireland on Thursday.
Yeah.
You know? The poor lad doesn't have a lot of luck. That's all.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
The manager...
Is he back at Tottenham getting treatment, or is he staying up in Preston?
No, he's actually up at Preston. They spoke to Lowe's, their manager, Ryan Lowe, spoke to Lancashire Live. He says, yeah, I've spoken to Jacko. Jacko's their physiotherapist at Preston to ask when he'll be back. And he said after the World Cup. So we just have to leave that to him. But apparently he's not on crutches now. So he seems to be making a very speedy recovery.
You know, with all due respect to Preston North End, right? When the Spurs player on loan gets a serious injury like that, he should be back up. See, facilities are better than what they've got in Lancashire. You know, so I think that's a mistake by letting them stay up there. They should have recalled them. Let him.
Yeah. And we've got Carl Simpson here, Philip, if you can hear me. He says maybe you should play Emerson as a backup forward. Oh, Lord. Oh, that's just fucking brilliant. We can imagine Emerson coming on for Harry Kane in about 70th minute. Yeah. So, Philip, I don't know if you heard that about Carl Simpson saying about Emerson playing as a backup forward. Oh, dear. So we're going for the last bit. We've got CONTE also. If you can hear me, Philip, I'm going to go through news. I will ask you the questions, and hopefully you can hear me. Tottenham boss Antonio Conte holds showdown talks with Danny Levy over break. And he was said in the pre-game press conference, he says, until now, we haven't spoken, told reporters in his pre-match press conference against Leeds. But after the first part of the season, it's right to have a meeting and discuss. So hopefully that's about where they're going, the transfer market, Philip, and also about him signing his new contract. Hello. We're going to in. Hello. So hang on. Take that Philip out, and we're replacing with Philip Mark 3. Hello. Can you hear us? Philip, hello.
Jeez, it's very frustrating.
I can hear you if you can hear me. Can you hear us, Philip? No, I don't think you can. Just give us a wave, Philip, in the background when you're back on, so we know. Look, I think it's a great chance for them to have a talk out there. Their thing. Hang on, let me get that there. Carl Simpson has saying apparently Conte and Paratici have drawn up a transfer list already and working on it for January. Yeah, I've heard that as well. So look, let's hope it's true. David Clark says I've made a list of 65 centre backs playing for 15 European teams. So there are centre backs out there. Look, there is, and there's better than what we've got. There's better centre backs than Dyer, Sanchez, and better right backs than Emerson. So look, we have to see where we go from here. We do need to have a good January window. We really, really do. Right. Let's see if this works now for Philip. If Philip's in. Philip, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, but it's coming and going all the time. It's I'm only getting a very, very poor signal here. But keep going till it drops completely, and then we'll finish it off.
Right. We spoke about CONTE meeting with that Gunner. What else we have? What else have we got? There, this one. We've got this bit of news. Tottenham board unable to grant Antonio Conte's request for during World Cup break. Mm-hmm. Now, the story behind this, Philip, was Conte wanted to bring the teams to all the Premier League teams are going away to warmer climates to do sort of like a second pre-season. And Football London have said Antonio Conte made a late request to take his Tottenham squad on a warm weather training trip during the world break, but the Spurs board have been unable to grant him. They wish to remain in England. It goes on to say plenty of Premier League clubs are going to the Middle East to allow their World Cup players to remain in similar conditions. While Conte's request was late, the board will have been unable to find anywhere with the facilities of Hotspur Way. What do you think of that?
It's probably not. It's something he changed his mind about. He obviously didn't want to do it initially, or else he would have asked about it back in August or before the season started. As regarding, I don't know. I have a mixed opinion on this. I'm sure they could find somewhere if they really tried hard enough. The fact that we have to have similar facilities to what we used to, I can see that being a good point, because you don't want to go to a place that's got second class facilities or not good enough facilities. I wouldn't rule that out just yet. I'd say something could still happen there. That it might still, some hotel somewhere might just offer the facilities and know it's Tottenham coming and charge them twice the price.
Yeah, and also I'm sure Roy Keane is giving them tips on facilities like he did with us in 2002 Japan World Cup.
That's true. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be
sure Roy Keane.
Let's face it, the 13 players that have gone will probably be glad to get home with a little bit of cold weather when they get back, rather than sticking it out there too long. So anyway, we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't be overly concerned about that.
No, and also the Spurs players will be given a break. Conte himself is returning to Italy, having missed his daughter's 15th birthday. Spurs return after the World Cup break on St. Stephen's Day here, which is Boxing Day in the UK, going across to London to take on Brentford, and then I think before New Year's Day is Aston Villa. Philip,
I think they're both away those games
tonight. Yeah, I think they are away. I think the boat. Listen, Philip, we're going to end off this Newsbeat on the big talking point of the day, Ronaldo's interview. Now, I've been watching a bit of the radio from your favourite radio station in the world, Talk Sport. I'm listening to Simon Jordan and Graham Souness. There's a lot being said of the Tang Hard promise Ronaldo stuff. Has he broken these promises? Look, early today, I'll take him at Spurs for 6 months, just as cover. But I'm sort of tracking back on that, because you think he got his ego and everything. Look, where do you stand? Do you think he was right to do this interview in the first place, Philip? And also, has he disrespected Manchester United, and do they now have the right to sack him?
He has disrespected the manager and the coaching staff terribly. I would say that could be treated as breach of contract, and I'd say first of all, I hear they're going to fine him $1 million, which is 2 weeks' wages, and I think they have every right to cancel his contract, because put it like this: if Harry Kane came out and said that about Spurs, how would we feel? We would be absolutely gobsmacked. So, although Ronaldo was a different animal, Ronaldo, like Harry Kane, hasn't got an ounce of ego in him. Ronaldo is total ego. No. He's 100% ego. So any club that he goes to, he'll want to, they do it his way or the highway. And that's probably the reason I don't want him coming to Tottenham. He disrupt the dressing room too much. like undoubted skill, great at free kicks, could win matches for you. But I do think it would be a very, very short honeymoon. And I think I can see more problems than solutions by bringing him in. Not doubting the guy's ability, but I just don't think Tottenham would be a right fit for him, you know?
No, I don't think so too. I think he's done more damage to his own career in Man United than anyone. Just one thing before we end. Hang on, let's bring it up there. Where does CONTE? Hang on, let's bring it up again. Coming up now. Where does CONTE now need to look in the winter transfer window? Apart from the centre back, where else does he need to look at?
He needs to get James Maddison in or something similar, you know. And I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't mind if we got a good left McKinney now. We've got McKinney, a decent centre back, and James Maddison type player. I think that's all we need this window. I think we'll only get 2 of those. Our forwards, providing they stay fit and don't get injured in the World Cup and don't get the heads turned by Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. I think the 4 forwards we have will be enough to see us through. But we need defense and midfield needs to be looked at. And we also need to maybe identify a goalkeeper to replace Hugo, but that for next summer.
Yeah. Would you go for Bazunu?
Yeah.
I'll go for
Bazunu. Bazuma, the Bournemouth guy, Southampton guy. Yeah, I wouldn't have done last year. I think that one's low. I think that horse is bolted now. Dean Henderson would be a good option to go for, or possibly the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, Dudek, whatever you call him. Is it the Henderson? Is Henderson?
I would go for him. No, Henderson for me. I don't think he's a good goalkeeper. I think the Atletico Madrid one, Dudek, now is a better goalkeeper. I would still go for our goalkeeper.
He's 30 years of age, though, or 31. So, whereas Bazuma is only 20 or 21. He would be. We should have got him last summer. We shouldn't have let Man City sell him to Southampton. We really should have gone because we've been talking about that for a good while. He'd be a great addition to the club. Let him sit in the background for a season, learning from Hugo, and then bang, next season bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, I bought him in my FIFA 23 team, and he's done fantastic.
Oh, he's a good player. Yeah, he is.
That's how much I paid for. So, but thank you very much for joining me on this Newsbeat.
Pity the internet was so bad. Just to go back to one comment there about giving the team time off. I think the whole squad should be given a week off at least, and bring them back for 2 or 3 weeks of training. Because let's face it, we are tired. 9 matches in October. No matter how fit you are, that takes it out of you. So I think Conte should go back to Italy, see his daughter's birthday, whatever it was. Give the boys a week off and then bring them back in, say, at the end of November and get them 3 to 4 weeks, good hard training to get them back into fitness again. But I think we're going to see a different Tottenham when the team. I guarantee that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I really would agree with that. Spurs here saying when Ronaldo pushed aside the bottle of Coke at the Euros, Coca-Cola did lose 3 billion in
That's
value.
Right. The share price dropped.
Yeah. Then we've got Joe Sarr, a goalkeeper. Never heard of him.
Good keeper. He's a Wolves, that guy, isn't he? He's a good keeper.
Yeah. I think, he is, yeah. Then Roy Park, great keeper, would be great fit at Spurs, yeah. And where's he team? I think Philip said, what did you say, Blackburn?
Where's what?
Yeah. Did you say he's playing at Blackburn?
Well, I don't know where he's playing. I don't know where he plays that. I don't know. Jose Sarr, no, Wolves. Is it Wolves? Is it Wolves plays for?
Is it Wolves?
I think
it might be Wolves. Yeah,
I think it is.
I think so. But anyway, listen, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been a great show. We're back tomorrow at 12 o'clock with Ellie's. I know, sure, you're grand. With Ellie's Spurs Ladies show, and then we're back tomorrow at 8 o'clock with the debate show. And then I think we're back on Wednesday and then Thursday. And then we're back on Friday. And then Saturday, we've got the 12-hour stream. So we've got a lot going on this week. But please, everyone, hit the link at the top of the chat for the GoFundMe. Let's see, can we raise enough money? And then Saturday, we're doing the 12-hour stream where we've got Philip popping in and out, Ellie's popping in and out. We've got people coming on as well, jumping on as well. And we're going to do loads of things. So look, we look forward to it. But thank you very much all for joining us this afternoon. And I think we've got a few more comments just to go through here before we head off. I don't know where they are. All right, okay. Yeah, he's at Wolves. If Wolves are in danger of going down the west, we get them. Dan Hotspur, great show, Dan and Philip. Thank you so much indeed. Roy Park says, show guys, have a great day. Well, Roy Park, please come back again. We're back tomorrow with Ellie's lady show, and then tomorrow we're having the debate. Philip's favourite topic at the moment, and we're going to get Philip's thoughts. So hopefully he gets good internet, because Philip will tell it how it is, and I'm actually looking forward to this. This is going to be a no-ho on the rights and wrongs of the World Cup going to Qatar. Me and Philip have been watching the FIFA coverage, so we're going. Yeah, but also the question is FIFA fit for purpose, and how should the world govern? How should football be run in the future? Should FIFA and UEFA and all these big organisations, do they need to be taken down? And then on Wednesday, we're doing a review of the Spurs first half of the season. Then Thursday, we are doing a World Cup build-up. So you're going to get my thoughts, Philip's thoughts, who might win, Ellie's thoughts as well. We'll go through the groups. And you know, are we hypocrites for watching it? So that's the questions tomorrow. Hopefully you come in and join us. It will be a brilliant show. And then we've just got a few more. These Tony Young says we don't try for cups now. We've got Philo Coys 213. Good, big up Philo. Good show, guys. Mick as well. Very kind of you. We've got Paul Pablo says good evening. Big up Paul Pablo. Thank you for joining. And then Rob Ledge, great content, guys. Hope Phil feels better. Thank you. Listen, it means a lot to us when people say things like that.
Yeah.
You what, Philip?
Yeah, no, thanks, Rob. Yeah, I don't feel too bad at all now. It's just the nature of the disease. I have to keep away from people, you know. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, Philip, we're getting his all his thoughts on paper tonight for tomorrow night's show. He'd be up to the all hours giving these reasons.
Can I say one thing to him before I go? Do you remember the head of FIFA sent out a letter last week telling the teams to forget about everything else, just concentrate on the football? That was Gianni Infantino, the head of FIFA. Yeah. Where does Gianni Infantino live full time? That's the question I'll be asking tomorrow.
Okay. I think I can answer it.
Don't give the answer.
Okay.
Don't give the answer.
Okay. All right.
Wait till tomorrow.
No. Okay. So
it's all part of the game. It's all part of the jigsaw puzzle.
It will. Yeah, and also we will be like, you know, we will be going through it tomorrow, and it's going to be no holds barred. It's going to be. We'll try not to be too controversial, but we're going to go near the knuckle. And I think this is our most daring show we've ever done on this channel. And so we may be taken off at some point during the stream. But it's going to be the most daring show we've ever done on here. So we'll hope you come in and enjoy it. Tell everyone about it. It's the big World Cup debate. The rights and wrongs are going to Qatar. But listen, for me and Philip, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great show.
Come on,
I'll see you tomorrow, Spurs Ladies Show. Come on, you Spurs.